Like, and how many parents and how many generations? I mean, yung emotional intelligence dito sa Pilipinas, we're not quite there yet.
Yes.
We are having those conversations, but we're not quite there yet. Yung you're doing shadow work, yung meaning like looking
Yeah.
at that inner child. I mean, shadow work is only just getting ground like recently. Pero, and sa mga hindi nakakalam shadow work, it's basically addressing that inner part of you. Yung mga, the inner child, those parts of you, old belief systems,
Yeah.
your shadow.
Yeah.
Who you are now is yung pinapakita mo sa tao. Yung shadow is the inner workings. Yung mga nangyayari dyan na hindi mo alam. And you have...
Sorry, it's beautiful because it's like the shadow when the sun is here.
Yeah.
It's behind you, so no one else sees it.
No.
You gotta look back.
And
Yeah.
sometimes, and you don't even see it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't even see it because you don't choose to be self-aware. If you don't choose to be self-aware, then how can you see your shadow? You're still living in front of the sun. You don't realize that there are two sides of the light, right? The light and what's the shadow that it casts. So, paano mo malalaman how to truly love someone if you don't address maybe parts of your inner child that was never loved? So you have to show up. And sabi nga nila, millennials are going through, and this is what we have an opportunity to do. Because I sabi ko, Gen Z has this opportunity, but we also have an opportunity, millennials. We are the generation that recognizes the faults of our kids,
Yeah.
faults of our parents, and don't want to repeat it
Right.
for our children. So we're basically parenting our child and our own inner child in the same place. Like, parang ayoko mangyari to eh. Ayoko na parang ako lang yung breadwinner. Like, I don't want this toxic cycle. And there's nothing wrong with being a breadwinner if you choose it truly, if you want it. But if it is forced upon you,
Right.
then what is that? Like, you don't put a child out in the world just to support you.
Right.
That's not what a child signed up for. You're not, if you get to go to the embryo and say, listen, I'm gonna put you into the life, but you're gonna have to support me all your life, ha? Like, all your life. Ako yung alagaan mo paglaki mo. Yung dreams mo, maybe, pag kaya mo kaming supportan. You think that embryo is gonna come? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, thank you. I don't want that. Thank you for offering it to me. I'd rather just not come into life.
Right.
Diba? And no child deserves to be forced
Right.
to have those responsibilities.
Eric, can I jump in right
Please,
now? Because
please.
this is something that I know from experience. People watching do go through. They have that tension of I have to give a certain amount of money to my parent.
Yes.
And I know them and I know people but it just culturally so many people are expected to do that.
Yes.
But the people that I'm thinking of, they're wrestling with the tension of, I actually know that I shouldn't be doing this. I need to break free
From it.
and in order to build my own family and break that curve, almost like a curve, like break that cycle.
Yes, break the cycle.
Enough cycle becomes a chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're working with the tension of breaking free from that. But the main question in their head is, I'm not respecting my parent. I'm not honoring
Absolutely.
my parent.
Yeah.
And in that, the question then becomes, is it respectful to break a unhealthy pattern in family, even if it means a period of distance, potential surface level broken relationship with family in order to heal?
100%.
Okay.
Because if your parents really loved you, eventually they would understand. If they truly loved you. Meaning, like, and it's not to say that you have to do these things disrespectfully with
Absolutely, yeah.
with your parents. Like, ganito ka, it's not that you have to do this with anger. Who says that you cannot bring this conversation kindly and with so much love and with so much respect with your parents? And I think you need to do it that way so that you don't have regrets. Because if you do it coming from resentment and coming from pain and anger, you've just disrespected and hurt your parents because that's on you.
Yeah,
Sa inyo
yeah.
yan. If you did it that way, in an unloving, hurtful, angry manner, you just hurt your parents, and that's on you, even if they made their mistakes. Sa'yo yan.
Right.
Who says that you cannot set healthy boundaries with your parents in the most loving, kindest way? Who says you can't do it that way?
Right.
And when you do it that way, you'll find a way to work. And if they truly love you, If they do, if they have the strength to buy, then they'll try. But maybe some have pain that are unaddressed. Mahal naman kita, pero this triggers so many things, and I don't have the inner strength to look to myself because I'm 60, 50 years old.
Yeah.
You have to understand. Past generations, it's not an excuse, ha? Look at the environment they were in. You
Right.
think emotional intelligence was a thing
Yeah.
30, 40 years
During
ago?
war.
You think looking into your trauma
Yeah.
was a thing?
Yeah.
And I'm not justifying their behavior, huh?
Yeah.
I'm saying you have to understand
Right.
what they know and what they're going through as well. What they know. Tayo kasi, when we talk about emotional intelligence, everyone here is nodding. Tama, tama. Generational trauma. Tama, tama. Shadow work. Tama, tama. 50 years ago, you know this emotional shadows ko. What the fuck are you to? Anong shadow work? Anong hoy Hector? Anong shadow work pinagsasabi mo?
Yeah.
Hoy, like hoy Pedro, like I mean, anong shadow work? They wouldn't even have the audience, even if they felt they were right, because the world didn't recognize it at the time.
Yeah.
You have to understand what they were also going through and what they know. And I'm not saying this to justify behavior. I'm saying this to try to find that tone of conversation that recognizes both sides. Because
Right.
when you have it from both sides of acceptance, tanggap mo yung magulang mo, tanggap mo kung sino ka, tanggap mo din sila, you have a conversation anchored in acceptance,
Right.
kindness, and love. And even if it's a difficult conversation, trust me, you won't regret how you did it if you do it from those places.
Right. So even in that, yeah, you said respectfully honoring them in it, and it's so. I think someone just needs to hear, is it worth it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. Is it worth not abandoning yourself?
Mm.
Is it worth not abandoning yourself? Is it worth living your true version, the version you dreamed of, the version you wanted, what you wanted for yourself? Absolutely.
And if there's anyone here that resonates with everything that we're talking about, my suggestion, maybe you tell me, Ari, if you think this is work, is one line that you could use is, hey, maybe it's me moving out, maybe it's me not giving the finances that you expect, maybe making decisions for yourself
Yeah.
and for the future family that you want to raise. A phrase you could simply say is, hey, this is how I become the man or woman that you'd want me to be, that you dreamt, that you prayed for me to become. This is how I'm going to become someone that can respect you more, love you more, and even say that. And it's such a, because I think maybe other things that they could say practically, lines, because some people, we just need the next step. They've made the decision, but they don't know how.
It's
What do you
not what I would say. It's not even how you say it. It's coming from a place where you were gonna do it the most loving, kindest way possible, in a way that accepts your parents, not versions of what you wish they were. Accepting your parents kung nasan sila. If you can look at your parent in the eye and recognize who they are, what they are and what they are not, what they have tried for you with love and what they haven't, then you also have an opportunity to recognize someone that probably doesn't even recognize themselves. You have an opportunity to do that for your parents. Current generations are asking, I wish my parents told me, even for the Chinese community, the Chinese Filipino community, and I say they would love to hear that they are loved from their parents. They would love to hear this version of love, meaning in their heads, I want it this way. But your parents have sacrificed, toiled, worked quietly, giving you the life that they could the best possible way.
Right.
If they did that, but they didn't necessarily want the version of the love that you want in your head from them, and you say, I know you love me because you do this.
Right.
I know that you love me and you're just trying really, really hard. And I know that maybe there are parts of you that don't know how to do this or even have this conversation, but you love them just the way they are. And you just have that conversation from accepting who your parents are.
Right.
That's it. It's not even the words.
Yeah.
It's where you're coming from. Tanggapin mo kung sino yung magulang mo. Have that conversation where they are. Meet them where they are, not where you want them to be.
Right.
Meet your parents where they are have it there, because then you'll also have an opportunity to see them. They'll have an opportunity to be like, my God, naiintindihan ako ng anak ko, when they probably have a hard time even understanding themselves.
There's something that you said, and the acceptance of reality. I myself have been, and I know so many people. There's this perfect family, image, and we see it in the movies. We see teleseries.
See
And
it in
we
the Beckhams.
we have exactly. You have it in your head and in your heart.
Yeah.
How do a young generation accept the reality? I'm talking about maybe those with the broken families, those with the who at one point had an abusive relationship with their parent, or just experienced something like that.
Yeah.
How do you accept and release the expectation of, this is what I hope my family, I wish it was like this, because I've heard so many stories of this, but this is not how it's supposed to be, like this is not what dapat naman, like, and so it's just but there's a maturity in releasing the expectation of, okay, this is not what's ideal, but hey, this is what's the reality. And so it's when reality meets expectation.
Yeah.
And it's okay, I'm gonna accept what's here, and I'm gonna make the most of what's here. And that takes a level of maturity to be able to do.
I would say it also takes a certain type of, well, for me, for people in that situation, dapat ganito eh. Hindi ganun yung magulang mo eh. And for as long as you still try to have them be versions of a parent that you want them to be, they will continue to have power over you and your happiness. You are giving your parents power over your own happiness. All parents can do is what they do, right? But I mean, you have the authority and the power to make yourself happy. If you are stuck in having your parents be a certain version or a way that you want them to be, you will live in resentment, you will live in anger, you will live in just constant wishing it was this. So you will always be stuck. You're actually not doing it for your parents, you're doing it for you. I mean, the version of the family that you want will anchor you and get you stuck in the life you want to live, because that's not who they are. Wonderful if you've had a great parent and a great childhood. That's a blessing. But that's not in the cards for you. And you have to accept what's in front of you. But if you don't accept what's in front of you, you can't live in real reality. Right. You can't be grounded. You can't have your feet on the ground, because you're constantly trying to step into a world that doesn't exist. It's your projection of what it should be, but it's not how it is.
Right.
And you will never have the power to give yourself happiness and to release that anger and resentment if you hang on to it. And there's a power, meaning I love you regardless. Not everyone has loving parents. And that's a reality for most. Meaning there are narcissistic parents that only care about themselves. But I'll tell you one thing for kids watching, and if you had a difficult parent, love is undeniable. Children will know kung mahal sila ng magulang nila. You will know. Because you ask them, they're like, but they love you, right? Yeah. But they're just difficult. They're imperfect. I'm not trying to discredit how difficult it is to have difficult parents. But I just want you to know that if love is present, that's good. Because there are kids who have to accept that there's no love there.
And this is super off topic, but have you seen that at weddings where the love isn't present?
Yes.
And how do you deal with that as a host? Does it break your heart to see it on stage?
Like, I'm just like, gets me angry sometimes. I'm like, what a horrible parent. Like, you're not supposed to have children. But that's not my line to cross.
Right.
I can only respect and do my duty and serve the moment. Some just want to have fun and laugh because that's the reality. I just had a talk with a couple with a narcissistic reading books on how to handle narcissistic parents. And what can you do? You just try to give them the joy that they can of that moment. Because I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fix it? Are you gonna involve yourself? I'll be like, no, let's have this talk.
Counseling
Like, gawin natin to. I mean, anong gagawin mo? Uy, tara. Alam mo, tara, kausapin ko. Like, I mean, what are you gonna do? Listen, if you're willing to break the world of a person,
Yeah.
you better see it through. But if you're not gonna do it, you're just gonna tell them something that's gonna break them and you're not willing to fix them through it. Alam mo, ganito ka kasi may trauma ka dahil magulang mo ganito, dahil ganito, and you break their entire way to survive, you better hold their hand and be willing to see it through. But if you're just saying it just to break them, that's fucking cruel. Like, don't do it. Like, you better take responsibility. That's why when people ask me for help, I'm so straightforward about I can only give it to you up to here.
Right.
Because I understand the responsibility of being there for someone. I'm not gonna do it unless I can help you talaga. Like so many people, I need this. Sometimes, and for those people, where I need to be to help you, to even write a message properly, if I'm not in that space, I won't respond. Or I'll tell you, I'm just not in the headspace to help you, pasensya na. And they're going through some heartbreaking things. But I cannot, if I'm not willing to see it through or at least help you properly in the way that sets the expectations,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. And if you're gonna freaking break a cycle and do something as breaking as handling a freaking narcissistic parent or whatever toxic relationship, or you wanna break it for that person and all they're doing is surviving, if you're not willing to see it through and hold their hand, you better not say so much. That's just gonna shake them. Or at least say it in a way that helps, but not in the way that breaks. Because if you break a person's reality and you break a person's way of surviving, you better be responsible for that. You just sent them into a spiral and you're not willing to hold their hand.
It's
No.
an irresponsibility.
It's no, I mean, there are ways to talk about it. So,
Right.
and I say that coming from a place where I see all of these things in front of me. I know the kind of conversations I need to have, but I can only help based on where I am and what I'm truly willing to give and what I'm truly willing to take responsibility for. What I'm truly willing to take responsibility for. I will help based on that.
And there's so many, there's tensions there. There's different ropes you have to pull. But
There's
like,
also beautiful moments, though.
there's beautiful moments in it.
Yeah,
And I haven't been hosting as much as you, or as long as you have, but I want to paint the picture for people as like when you go to different events, it's really sometimes you're seeing snapshots of life. Like you walk in and you see, wow, okay, birthday's a debut, a wedding, even for a company like
Corporate.
corporate. You know, this is a milestone. You're saying.
Concert. Yeah.
And imagine this: you're in your own home, you book a ride or you drive to the venue, you step into this space. You step into this space. You hear about what the goal is, the script,
For the event,
the whole event is like, and you're there and you're part of it for a moment, and then you take a step back, humbly bow, and you leave. And it's a privilege. It's weird to like for some, like especially when I was starting out, it's weird because it's like, whoa, how much do I emotionally invest into this? And sometimes there's a level of professionalism of like, okay, you know, in emotions, my acting coach would be like, even when we were training or doing workshops, she would be like, stop, let go. You have to let go. And so there's a tension of being part of a moment, and then it's like, okay, this is not your life though. Like even as a wedding host, you're not their best friend forever. You know, you're there to help honor and steward.
I'm not
the
even
moment.
their best friend.
Exactly.
Like I'm someone that you contracted to take care of you. But that doesn't mean I can't be a human being that appreciates a beautiful thing from other human beings. I mean, it's the humanity that connects me to them. It's not friendship. It's not anything. I mean, you scroll, and you see someone just come home, their dad just came home, and you're like, like you're crying your heart out when you see something beautiful. Do you know these people? But it's your humanity that connects you to them.
Right.
Who says I can't be a human being that appreciates a beautiful thing from fellow human beings? Like I can do that, and I can connect to them that way. but I'm not gonna fake that I know you.
Exactly. Sorry, I want to say that because that was my tension with wedding hosting. I
Don't.
was like, do I have to learn all about their lives
No.
now? You're like,
Rem-
no, bro. Who are you?
Remember nung bata ka, Edward?
Oh.
Tapos sabi mo sa mama mo ganito.
Oh.
Tapos yun ang moment na pinaka gustong-gusto mo na talagang closest to your heart. Tapos wala ako nun. Di ba ang ganda nun? Like, I mean,
Exactly.
it's so weird, right? Like, it's so weird na parang I'm pretending to be there, pero I was never there. Like, so, how, and I always went kind of the opposite direction with that, na parang, kasi my peers at the time, kailangan kilala mo sila, kailangan alam mo yung life story nila. No.
That was what they tell you?
That's what they told me before. That's how my fellow colleagues did it before. Like
Okay.
when I was just starting out. And I'm just like, but it's not sincere. I don't know you. Hindi naman kita kilala. I don't know your mom. I don't know your parents. I don't know your story. And I haven't earned and witnessed your journey. But I can connect from a human that appreciates what it takes to get there. Because I've gone through myself. I know what it takes. So that's why I love it when I see couples who go through such hard things, because I've been through such hard things with my life. I've seen dynamics that are difficult with parents, and I recognize it because I've gone through it myself. Who says I can't participate and serve and help without, by knowing that, coming from that? You can. You really can.
And even in this is a conversation as well that you don't know, Ari.
No.
To a degree, I don't even know your whole story. I don't know your whole story.
It's the second time
But
we're
we
talking.
we get to experience moments like this. And
Yes.
that's what.
Because you're going through something the same way I'm going through something. Like, we're all going through something.
And there's so many other things that I want to ask, but I want to go back to that second question as well. Is maybe there's a parent that's watching and that's like, I realize maybe I don't understand shadow work, but I understand there may be something I need to say I'm sorry for. And maybe it's like it's coming up in your mind and your heart right now. It's a memory, it's an interaction. And for so many times, pride is a thing. And I don't want to label it all as pride. Maybe it's fear, it's insecurity. How is your child going to receive it? You don't want to get battered as well. But what is the first step? And this is something I don't have an answer to. Of, as a parent, going towards your child and being like, I realized I made a mistake. And maybe is there a story that you have of this?
All I know is, you've loved your child since they were born, but your child has loved you since their eyes opened. They love you all their lives. They've loved you since the beginning. So you cannot imagine the amount of love, loyalty that a child has for a parent. You cannot. As a parent, you probably could because you've loved your parents. You can only understand it by the way you love your parents. The power a parent has to release their child from just admitting that they were wrong. Kasi mahal na mahal ka ng mga anak mo eh. Like, you cannot remove that. That's there. What child wants to go against their parents? All children just want to love their parents with all their hearts. Like, that's what, di ba yun naman ang gusto natin? Like, that's all you want. If you can understand how your parents have made you feel sa mga magulang, and what it would have meant para sa'yo kung nag-sorry yung magulang mo, you have an opportunity to provide that to your child. You have an opportunity na mabigay sa anak mo yun. Because you're probably repeating the same patterns. And you probably understand how it feels na hindi mag-sorry ang magulang mo. You can become your parent or you can learn from your parent. Sa mga magulang dyan. What would it have meant for you pag nag-sorry yung magulang mo sa'yo? I'm talking about the parents with their parents.
Yeah.
And imagine being able to give that sa anak mo. That's such a powerful thing and such a huge thing. You think you want to give them a life. You think of course you want to give everything. But sometimes recognizing your children by recognizing how they feel by just saying, I'm sorry, is like, it's a huge thing.
Someone's going out the room again.
Yeah, it's all good.
Nag-walk out? No,
It's
I'm
all
kidding.
good. It's all good. He's going to call his mom. Oh.
He's gonna call his
I'm just
mom.
joking. I'm just joking.
What I'm learning from what you're saying
Yeah.
is you don't need to have the words. You just need to have the intention and the heart.
You,
And whatever comes out, basta sincere.
basta like, I mean, for parents, like, it doesn't mean that you're less. It doesn't mean that, no, oh my God, you are trying to break past, you're breaking a cycle by saying so. Alam mo sa mga magulang, kala mo you have to change as a person. Maybe you just have to say sorry and not know how to fix it. Okay na yun. Because there are some parents who just don't even want to say sorry. But kung nag-apologize ka, alam mo anak, mali ako doon. Oh my God, you know how much you remove from your child na parang, okay, my feelings are valid. Tama to para sa akin. And you don't even have to fix it. Basta kasi mahal na mahal na mahal na mahal ka ng mga anak mo. And if you don't recognize their feelings with the wrongs that you have, imagine how that affects a child. Kasi mahal na mahal ka. But if the person that they love so much says, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Oh my God, the things you validate in your child. You don't have to fix it. Sometimes some parents just don't know how to fix it, and that's okay. But if you can accept na nagkamali ka, I don't know how to fix it, I'm sorry. That's already so much more than what a lot of kids have.
Like there's something that we were talking about. You mentioned it a while ago. Someone, so we can flash back to the moment. Someone, G came in and the door creaked, and you stopped talking. You said, "All right, let's acknowledge it because it's better than not acknowledging it."
Yeah.
It's the same exact concept. Like
Yeah.
the best way to handle awkwardness is to acknowledge it and move on.
Yeah.
You don't have to fix it, make up
Yeah.
for it. So I guess it's the same way with what you're saying with apologies. You don't have to make up for it.
And you don't have to be a certain version of what you think you need to be just to do it well for your parents. Sometimes, I'm sorry, I don't know how to fix it, I made a mistake, is all probably what a child wants from their parents. But honestly, Edward, like, not everyone gets that though.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's the acceptance. And sometimes I'm sorry can come in a different form. But it's so nice to be able to say it, diba? Kasi now it's undeniable proof that there's a memory na nag-sorry talaga.
Yeah.
Some will do it na parang ito. Or parang, yes, you can do this. Go. If you want to do it, you do it. Maybe it just comes in different form. Maybe I'm sorry is just something that's so hard for them. I wish it wasn't. That's how it is.
But I wanna move on to something that's that in my head I've been curious about, and we've heard, and to anyone who's thought about this, maybe you're a parent, maybe you're a child, we we believe that this is gonna help them help you somehow. Because I think, especially here in the Philippines, which is most of our audience is here, but even those abroad, maybe your parents are abroad and you're remembering stuff right now, and they moved abroad and they did everything in order to take care of you, but they weren't around for things that meant a lot for you.
Yes.
This is a start. Even you listening to this, maybe some people clicked off at this point, but if you stayed this long, you're already in the momentum of walking in this healthily. But I wanna slide into something that's a little bit different of a dynamic, and I've wondered this so much with how much experience you have with weddings. I have hosted, since we talked, I think 3 to 4 different weddings.
Nice.
A lot of them for friends. Some of them a little awkward.
Yeah.
Anytime I see speeches in like the run sheet in the script, I'm like, all right, because as a host, and for those of you who are married already, or you as a host, you can't interject yourself in the middle of a speech. You have to let it play out, no matter what happens.
You can't disrespect. Yeah.
You gotta respect it,
no matter how long.
And then when it ends and they clap either well or awkwardly, that's your spot before you transition to the next
try to
one.
fix it.
So I want to hear, first off, do you have any wedding horror stories? Of course, with respect, we won't say who, but what are the hardest moments for you that you've had to handle at weddings or even in other events?
The hardest for a wedding?
Or maybe the moments where you're like, ooh, I gotta say something.
I'm like, ooh, that's bad.
Yeah.
Like, I would say because I would say, I already told this story before, but there was a time where a storm hit a wedding.
Okay.
That's not even the hardest. Because what I've learned, it was the hardest then, but it's not the hardest now because I know how to handle it.
Right.
When a storm hits a wedding or like a disaster happens and crisis happens, crisis is actually an opportunity for you to highlight how much people love and care about you.
Mm.
Meaning, I always tell them, don't look at the wet floor, don't look at the cake that fell. Look at everyone here for you despite the situation. You will always remember how much your friends and family truly care about you when you remember this moment, when you remember this disaster.
Right.
It's a perspective. So you have an opportunity for them to highlight, you have an opportunity to highlight how much these people care about you, because it was never about having the perfect wedding. They just loved you.
Mm.
So with crisis comes that opportunity.
Right.
So if you have the worst wedding in the future, na parang ang dami nangyari, ang dami, but everyone's there for them,
Good.
you're good. You have that angle because it's there. Yung mahirap sa akin ngayon is when it's a really long, awkward, self-centered speech.
Yes. How do you address that?
And then I'm just like, I'm still finding ways, because you only have probably a good 30 seconds to a minute
Yeah.
to transition to the next. That's my next one. Parang sometimes there's a joke there that works. Like for example, my little trick. Pag sobrang haba ng message ng daddy or ng parent, tapos mga parang 20 minutes nagsalita and everyone's like, right? Haba. My little thing that I do, this is my move. Dad, alam mo, kanina, kausap ako ng videographer at photographer. Eri, hindi namin alam kung may edit namin to sa tamang oras. Dahil kailangan matapos to ng 9. Wala na kaming oras, Eri. We have 30 minutes left. Hindi namin magagawa to. Gusto naming mangyari. Dahil sa speech mo, matatapos nila. Sa palakpakan natin si Daddy. And they're just like, it's a good one, right?
If anyone hires me as a wedding host.
And then now you just turned it around.
Yeah.
Like you just like that 30-minute speech, those just like, it's like, and now the energy's a little bit back up, right? It's a little move I do. And there's so many ways to do that.
Yeah.
It's just that if you look for it, you'll find it.
Right.
But if you make an excuse for yourself, that's why I always say there's no excuse not to deliver. You just need to learn what you need to learn to deliver in whatever difficult situation.
Okay.
But if you make excuse for yourself, you stop. You stop learning. You stop trying to find ways. So my thing is like, how do I fix? I'm always like, if I'm coming up from a new thing, I'm like, putang ina, paano yun? Like, how do I fix that one? Like, I'm just like, that's a hard one. Then you start thinking. So now I'm having these moves. Like, I'm actually in a place in weddings where parang games are not as necessary anymore. Okay. I'm also a place in the weddings where I'm recognizing two types of crowds. There are two types of crowds. The one that really just want me for fun.
Right.
Na parang, Eri, gusto lang namin masaya. Ayaw namin ano. The types that want me for fun because they're not really comfortable expressing love, but you push them to express love and then it becomes a whole beautiful moment. That's step number 2. And the ones that truly just want to express in love. Those are like, I'm happy to have become the type of host that can take care and support moments. Like, one of my favorites is pushing a father to express his feelings for his daughter. Getting a dance that was supposed to happen with his mom that wasn't supposed to happen, and they danced. Having a little brother express how much he loved his kuya pala that's never been said. Saying I love you for the first time na never. Pushing a father to cry to his daughter. You have these opportunities in weddings. I mean, and if you truly just, like I said, come from sincere intentions of wanting to help and you don't make excuses for yourself, you're going to find all these angles to like, oh, I can help here, I can serve here, I can do my thing here. You can find little pockets on how to bring it up. Like, you'll never run out of ways to improve.
Beautiful. And it's almost like you're testing yourself at the same time.
It's fun.
And there's a beauty in the challenge of that. And honestly, our first time talking, and of course they don't know this, but I tried to ask you questions because I was so curious to why the heck you liked hosting weddings. And I've heard a lot of that today. And honestly, if you haven't answered the question directly, but you have. You've shared your heart in it. And now I understand. I understand now.
Because it's hard if you don't have the perspectives. Because how can you connect in such a human way if you're coming from the wrong, or an unhealthy, insincere place? Like, it'll punish you weddings will punish you.
Mm.
Like, because this is so sincere, this is so special.
Yeah.
If you learn to come from the healthiest places, oh my God, wedding's gonna be the most beautiful things you've had the pleasure of being a part of. Like, it's so human and so beautiful, so imperfect. You see so much pain, you see so much this, you see this. You see, recently, one extra layer that I've added is to be able to speak to your parent that already passed. Dad passed away. Mom passed away. Do you want to still say something to your dad? I do this in the meeting. Like what you would have loved to say. Because you can. Don't think you can't. And it's not going to be dramatic. It's not going to be this. You can express. And pag ginawa mo yun, you also have an opportunity to let the people who love your dad feel the same love through the tears that you're going to eventually shed. Like, I mean, there's so many layers of how you can help, you know?
Great. I have one last thing, and this is something I've heard that I've seen from your videos that you're passionate about. And it's been something I think when I watched it was something that was on your mind. Almost seemed like a mini frustration. What do you think about the generation now that every wedding has to be this grand event? Like, personally for me, when I get married one day,
Yeah.
I want I don't need the giant set design.
Yeah.
So, and it's almost becomes like a, hey, correct me if I'm wrong, a wedding's for you
Yeah.
and your partner.
Yeah.
Why are we trying to impress so many people?
Yeah, that's...
So talk about that for the last couple of minutes.
Well,
maybe.
I've spoken already about it many times and I posted about it. But the thing is, I think Gen Z, the next generation of weddings, are going to be the most intimate ones.
Love it.
I really don't think it's going to be like, because they're looking, like they're learning. You think they're not learning? They're like, I don't want this. I know how this feels. Like the same way you're learning from your parents, you're learning from every experience. And we're kind of hitting that detox phase of social media, of technology. Like, we're hitting it. Yeah. Trust me, we're going to hit a phase, I think, for Gen Zs. They just want the most intimate things. But the thing is, everything comes in cycles, Edward. You're going to have this phase where it's going to be heal, all of these things. But as a collective, everything always moves in cycles. So right now, I think we're in the cycle of healing in the world because everyone's facing their trauma, and right now we're hitting the highest point of anger because at the highest point of change comes the highest point of resistance, right? So that's what's happening with the world right now. I think Gen Z, based on what they say, I'm like, I don't want it. And it's gonna evolve. Siguro, intimate. Then they find one really cool thing to do. Because listen, yung mga grand things na yon, at a time, they really liked it. And I always say this. A wedding that's grand, luxurious, and big, but comes from a place of intentions that you really just wanted it. I wanted a Snow White big wedding, all the shebangs. I really wanted that. It's not performative.
Okay.
It's something you truly wanted. Hence, you will enjoy this grand spectacle because it's what you wanted. A wedding that tries to show that they're intimate, grounded, and don't need all that shebangs for the sake of showing that this is the type of people they are, is performative. It's not about whether what you're doing is like big or not. It's coming from intentions. If you truly wanted it for yourself, grand, big, Snow White, Naruto themed wedding, I don't care. Kung yan talaga yung gusto mo, then that is your dream wedding. But if you're trying to perform and just show a version of a wedding just to make you look a certain way to certain people, then that's a performance regardless of how good you make it look.
Right. And that's the power of, and what you talked about, and this is my last question for you. The power of intention.
Yes.
When you speak. That's what we've heard the whole time. Whether you're apologizing, whether you're communicating to your parent about something, whether your intention for a wedding or not, like what it looks like. There's a power behind intention. And I believe I already mentioned that you spoke about it.
Yes. Intention shape your energy.
Can you give us a quick 1 minute? I know it's people could probably book you to have a whole talk about it. So don't give away all the material.
No, it's fine.
But to everyone, there's so much power in that, and not what the words are, but how you say it and what's your goal behind it.
Yeah.
Can you give us a 1 minute crash course
of intention shaping your energy?
Exactly.
Kasi at the end of the day, your reason for doing something will shape everything of what you do moving forward. If you said that your dream was to become this, but in the age sa kaloob-loob-looban mo, it's to impress your parents pala, you're not gonna enjoy it. You're gonna try to convince, and it's easiest to lie for yourself. Huh? It's easiest to lie
Wow.
to yourself. You think it's easy to lie to your others? Oh my God, it's easy to lie to yourself. You know, like easy. Yes, I believe you. Yes, yeah, diba? I believe you, me, diba? You think, but it takes self-awareness. It takes questioning to know if your intention. You think it's just easy. My intentions are pure. Psh, nope. You're a people pleaser. You have insecurities, and you just lied to yourself. Guess what? That's not your real intentions. It's not. It takes time to know. Unless you're really solid ka na, meaning you had no reason to create versions of
Right,
yourself. There are people like that, and you just look at it, wow, ang dali. Good for you. Diba? But not everyone's like that. Everyone goes through insecurities and pain and all of these things. You have to recognize your pain. Kailangan kilalalin mo kung sino ka through acceptance, kindness, and self-awareness. And then you can make a real decision for yourself. But maybe you have to make the mistake. Maybe you have to make that decision that wasn't really yours. You did it to impress a loved one. You did it to prove that you're worthy. Maybe you have to do it to understand the difference of what a real decision for yourself means. Don't be afraid to make those mistakes, because I know I have. I've lived a certain way for most of my life. Only now, and I appreciate it because I've made the mistake. You can't tell me I don't know it because I've lived it for most of my life. I've made decisions that were not for myself. I know the difference. So make those mistakes. Don't worry, but know that you have the goal to find yourself, and you will in your time.
Can we end it there? No, but what you said, I love it. And you said this earlier in the podcast. You said this the next generation learning from, and I promise you, if you haven't realized it yet, there's so much gold in the conversation, like what we've heard from you, Ari. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And I feel like I want to be the first one to grab a lot of it. And if I'm thinking like if I can grasp this now, when I'm 30, 40, my family's gonna be healthier. I'm gonna be healthier. My relationship with my partner is gonna be way better. So
Your relationship with yourself.
will be a lot better as well. Anyway, but Ari, the things just that I'm a verbal processor, so I want to make sure I remember it. Once I've said, I remember it.
Sure.
I've learned the journey is beautiful. Just from hearing this, there's there's such a beauty in the journey of screwing up, getting up, and I've in the mindset of a Gen Z, what I've heard from you even today, is how it's not instant. Even like a lot of people will say like the journey is not instant. You have to work hard, and that's great. But what I've heard from you today is like in the relationship you're building with yourself, which will overflow into the relationships around you. There's a process and a journey that's not instant as well.
And you'll make mistakes.
And you'll make mistakes.
And you'll screw up. But that's all part of the journey of becoming who you're meant to be.
And so our hope to everyone is that you become who you want to be. Not who you want to be, who you're meant to be.
Yeah.
Not your parents meant you to be, but who you want to be.
Yeah.
And I want to segue that, honestly, into something that we love doing here.
Okay.
And I'm a huge sports fan. I grew up.
Wow.
I never reached the pinnacles of any sport.
Okay.
But one moment that we can create that is the moments where they sign the camera. And we have that here today. And just bring it over. Ari, we want your signature. Not the one that you use for the bank.
Okay, don't forge it. Kasi next thing you know, ang daming debit.
Tristan, maybe point out where on the camera.
Where do you want it? Right here?
Right there.
This is how I always do it when people ask me. I put Airy and then a smiley face. Like that.
Let's try it one more time.
I
Imperfect. We're not gonna edit out.
It's fine. It's fine. So that was like version. But what I do is I put it like that in Airy, and then I put a smiley face. That's how I always sign.
Hey guys, that is the
What?
shadow work right there.
That's the shadow.
Prophetic about everything right
This
there.
one lies to himself. This one's realizing.
There you go. Ari, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming on.
My pleasure.
One last thing I want to say, I want to honor you for it. There have been moments, even recently with podcasting, where I've genuinely thought, can I keep this up? Do I still want to do this? You and this conversation have reminded me the reason why I wanted to do this in the first place. The passion, the heart, the stories, the imperfection, the pain, and humility, the vulnerability that shows it is okay to be human. Thank you for sharing that here today. I am blessed. I am blessed.
Thank you for having me. It's a blessing to also get to, share. And thank you for listening. I appreciate it.
There you go. If you want to book him, please book him. Do you want details to pop up?
I'll give you the 10% that we agreed on.
Yay! There we go. Hey, I'll take it. I don't know his rates, but he's the best. So, there we go. Ari Neeman, everybody. We love you.
Thank you.
I have had to pee for the last 40 minutes,
That's
but I was like,
great.
I don't want to get up if I do.